We all want to live longer, healthier lives.
And there you go.
Oh, there is a cabin! But there's only so much we can do by ourselves.
We have 24 chapters across the country, from Newfoundland to Victoria, and the best way to get involved is to join a local chapter.
Sometimes a little bit of connection is all we need.
When you've got a team and that social connection is so important, they really support one another.
On today's show, community and longevity. Research has shown that strong social ties lead to longer lifespans. With the right groups around us, we're drawn towards healthier habits. Human connection does wonders for our cognitive and emotional health as we age. Today, we're going to meet Zoomers who have made their community an integral part of their lives. First up is the North Shore Rescue. The North Shore Rescue was founded in 1965 to help lost and injured hikers and skiers. Many of their senior members are still with the team. Longtime member Alan McMorty has invited us to their winter social at an off-the-grid cabin near Mount Seymour in North Vancouver, which means I have to get my snowshoes on. Let's see, what do we have here? They're very light.
Yeah, these newer ones are great. And there's different designs, but these have a pivot for your foot. It's a little easier to go uphill, but also there's little
Lots of grip
teeth, there's lots of grip underneath there.
And what are those for?
These are specially made for North Shore Rescue, but these are for flat kicking steps, steep slopes.
They're what Jerry wore when he was a young man.
I'm looking forward to this because when I was a little girl and I just got here from Spain, and the school took us out on a snowshoeing excursion. And you know how you go to a museum and you see those big wooden, they look like giant tennis rackets? Well, that's the snowshoes that we had.
Let me know if it's too loose on the heel that we might swap.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
We're going to be heading up to the North Shore Rescue's training facility cabin up on Seymour.
While the rest of the group starts up to the cabin, Alan has promised to show me some mountain safety tips. So this is why you need snowshoes, because you don't know what you're stepping in.
Yeah, you're always punching your pole in to see what's the snow, and I can see, oh yeah, I go in 2 inches of fresh snow and I hit a hard layer, and then I could push through that and think, wow, okay, I've got another 6 inches there. Then it's really solid. But sometimes you'll push through that and your pole will go down a foot. You think, wow, that could be unstable on a steep slope. So you're always just testing, what's the snow doing here? That you're just gathering data as you go.
Yeah. And really the key, stay on the trails.
Yes. A really good example of a tree well here, where the branches have kept the snow away from the trunk of the tree, which is why we tell kids if they get lost, you go hug a tree. You're underneath the branches. Keeps the rain off you, keeps the snow off you. And you can be reasonably comfortable if you're in a tough spot and you're lost. And if you have something, tie it to the branch so that we can see it.
I saw in the directions, just before you hit Suicide Bluff, hang a left.
Yes.
Okay, lots of downhill. How do I get downhill?
Yeah, so when you usually walk downhill, you're digging your heels in. But remember, we've got those teeth underneath the balls of our feet here, and we are able to pivot. So you can always just a little heavier on your toes, and that digs those teeth in.
Okay, let's tippy toe down the mountain, guys. Off we go. While Alan and I make our way up, the rest of the team is already warming up the cabin.
Thoughts when we got the cabin in 1979 was we needed a training facility, because if you look over there, there's a nice cliff. You can jump, lower, raise, or whatever. Snow here to dig snow caves and play games. Find a hard way of how to dig a snow cave and what happens if you don't do it right. And you're away from the public.
And there you go.
Oh, there is the cabin. Oh my goodness, how cute is that? The snow on the roof.
There you go, there's the door. Welcome to the North Shore Rescue.
Wow.
There they are.
Hello, hello.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh.
Come on in.
I feel like I'm totally in the country.
Where's Jerry?
This is amazing.
What do you think to that trail in?
The trail in was hazardous enough for me.
Okay, there's tea here for 2 or 3.
I just want to say that I know
milk.
all of you brought all the food up, but I figured I had to contribute to the well-being of the team, so I brought wine.
You did well.
Yay.
I was thinking last Tuesday when I was sitting at training or even doing the avalanche course, I'm sitting with a group of 30 people from 23 years old to 75 years old, and we're all learning how to use our GPS, and they're all friends. They don't see you as somebody 30 years older than them, that we're all just the members of the team.
And the thing is that there continues to be things that where I can be useful. I can't keep up with youngsters on the hill. I can't, carry 60-pound packs and drag people out of the bush anymore. I just don't have the stamina or the energy. But there's lots of other stuff that I can do that is needed and is helpful. And
It touches my heart because how many of us these days can truly say that, and they call it find your tribe, who's like you, kindred spirits, and who would drop everything for you. Not many people can say that these days. And it's so important for longevity. You want to age well? Find your tribe.
And I haven't done a rescue in 20 years, but I still like hanging around.
They let you.
You let me.
At 91, founding member Jerry not only made the trek up on snowshoes, he's now cooking lunch for the team. I have a gift for the chef. So Jerry, I brought something to go with your lasagna.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Would you do the honors?
I will.
With all these young recruits coming up, do you guys ever retire, or is it just like a lifelong commitment here?
they're always going to stay connected in one way or another to the team. As long as there's some useful, valid things that I can do that can function to keep this team going, I'll stay involved.
Well, I think that you're one lucky group of friends. Well, here's to the North Shore Rescue Team.
Thank you very much.
And here's to
Take my
friendship.
hat off to that.
Here's to
Yeah.
friendship.
And here's to friendship. Cheers.
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 Take a shake.
When we come back, we'll meet the new president of CARPe, Rudy Boutignolle.
Most people now that are retired are busier than ever. They're not retired from life, they're retired from that full-time employment.
We're learning about how our communities can help us stay healthy as we age. Rudy Boutignolle is the new president of CARPe. We're going to be asking him what CARPe is doing to encourage older Canadians to stay active and connected. Rudy Boutignolle. Wow, nice to see you.
Surprise.
Welcome to CARPE.
Thank you very much.
I'm thrilled.
Glad to be
I thought
here.
you were retired.
Well, I retired from full-time work, but it wasn't for me. I love being around the hustle and bustle. I love being around people, and I love doing stuff. And so when I had the opportunity to join the Canadian Association of Retired Persons.
People. Are we allowed to say retired now? Because I know for a while,
Of course.
reinvigorated, reimagined.
No, my vision is to own it.
Yeah.
It's to own it. And you talk to most retired people, they wear it as a badge of honor, Well, for most people, what I've found is retired means they're retired from full-time employment. From that job you had to do,
Yeah.
to pay the bills, to raise the kids, to do all that stuff. Now they're doing something else. They're not retired from life, they're retired from that full-time employment. Most people now that are retired are busier than ever. We just finished a survey this past summer. The membership was asked, are you retired? 80% said yes. If offered a full-time employment, would take on another job? 80% said no. I'm too busy.
not too busy being retired.
Exactly.
I love it. So what is your hope to achieve with CARPe under your leadership?
Well, we have to recover from COVID. You know, the pandemic was devastating, both generally speaking to society, with older people more so. I think what happened with long-term care, with the death rates with older people was shocking. And that was a failure of not just government, it was a failure of our culture in general. With CARPe, it's about rebuilding the organization, getting out there and making sure the chapters, the local chapters, are strong and vibrant and advocating for their local issues and supporting the big advocacy issues at the national level.
And can you give us a snapshot of what your big national campaign looks like for 2024?
And I think one of the biggest issues, how older people are treated, is ageism. I think North Americans have been such a youth-oriented culture that once your so-called productive life, that is your working life, your tax-paying life is over, it's like, okay, that's it. You know, instead of gaining an exalted status as the elder now, that it's, hey, it's your time to be appreciated, we kind of put it out of sight.
So Rudy, CARPe is really powered and fueled by volunteers across the country. So how does that work? If somebody's watching and they say, hey, that sounds good, what's the process?
We have 24 chapters across the country, from Newfoundland to Victoria, and the best way to get involved is to join a local chapter. Each chapter is a bit different. They're all kind of evolved out of the local community, what's important to them, and so it's a chance to get involved in the local issues and also meet your fellow citizens.
And that helps you with your longevity, so it's a win-win.
I think it's important when you're part of a group that's volunteering, they expect you to show up. And you know, and sometimes it's raining or it's cold outside or the show you're watching on television is kind of compelling. But because you have a commitment, it gets you physically moving out of the house and then socializing. Of course, once you're there, you know, you don't want to go home. My mantra going forward to everyone is join the community, enjoy the benefits, discover the benefits. Together, our voices are stronger.
Would you come back and give us progress reports and all the wonderful things that you're doing with CARPe?
Be more than happy to come back and let you know how far we've gotten.
Okay, great. We'll be checking.
Okay.
Okay.
A lot of people will be checking.
Thank you, Rudy. Volunteering is one of the best ways to stay connected as we age. And it has health benefits too. The helper's high, it's a real thing. Volunteering has been linked to the release of endorphins, and this chemical change in the body has a calming effect, contributing to a positive outlook. And sometimes a positive outlook can quite literally save your life.
The doctors gave up on me. They thought I will die, and then suddenly I thought I am on a race, and that urge to die was gone.
We're learning about community and longevity. So far, we've seen how senior members of the North Shore Rescue have formed lifelong bonds that keep them active and socially connected. But we don't all need to be mountain climbers. Team sports are a great way to build communities and keep our minds and bodies working. We sent Dean Atwell to take a rowing lesson from a dragon boating team that meets in Falls Creek every week. They call themselves the Grand Dragons.
Focus on the boat.
Twice a week here in Falls Creek, down on Granville Island, an experienced team, aptly named the Grand Dragons, zip up their life jackets and take to the water. They were the first mixed seniors team in Canada. So you're on the water with the Grand Dragons twice a week? And how long have you been coaching the Grand Dragons?
Help me out here. COVID has confused everything. 3 years? 3 years. Thank you. I'm on probation now.
How does it differ with an aging group rather than a younger group? Are you still competitive? You're still going to win?
They are still absolutely competitive. What's different is probably a greater rest period between intense pieces. So you want that pressure on all the way through, and then the release.
One of the oldest members of the rowing club is Croatian George. He's 90 now, and he started paddling 20 years ago.
Hi, George. How are you, sweetheart?
George, long-standing history with rowing. You started when you were 70 years old, is that correct?
Or 70.
Roughly? Why? Why row? Why paddle?
I had a kayak when I was young. I was paddling on the Danube, and I always wanted to paddle.
Are you the oldest paddler out here?
Probably one of the oldest on the whole world.
And do you still row?
No,
Not anymore?
I stopped at 89 years old.
And you've got some medals.
Yes.
So these are all for dragon boating, yeah?
Yes.
First place, Grand Dragons Cup race, 2010. You've got a senior championship race over here at Steveston Dragon Boating.
Originally from Hungary, George participated in the 1958 revolution, and not without consequences.
I took part of the Hungarian Revolution in '56. Then I was in an internment camp in Yugoslavia when I heard that a Hungarian university with professors and students from Sopron came out and the UBC accepted them. So I was aiming to Vancouver, and luckily the university accepted me too.
You came down with some pneumonia when you were 88 years old. And talk to me about what you saw.
The doctors gave up on me. They thought I will die. And it was a very funny feeling. It was that something, I have to go now, I have to die. And then suddenly I thought I am on a race, on the last 50 meter on a race, started to paddle, and that urge to die was gone.
Disappeared?
Yeah.
You paddled on?
Yeah. My family doctor said, you are alive because you are a paddler. And yesterday was 11 months that I am out from the hospital. I'm still alive.
Still strong?
Not strong, but
alive, healthy.
Now that we've stretched and warmed up, the team and I are ready to hit the waters.
All right, paddles up, yeah. Take it away. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, up to 80%. 3, 2, 1, 80.
You know, I work out, but it doesn't feel like it. This is a completely different set of muscles. Well, from Falls Creek here on Granville Island, we're paddling on. Dean Atwell, Joy Television.
Well, that just about does it for the show. But we can't leave without our regular feature with Chef Julian Bond. He's back in the kitchen showing us healthy, affordable, and Zoomer-friendly recipes.
So when you do a pasta, the actual perfect shape is the elbow pasta. The cheese and the tomato is going to get caught up and hold it all in place. It's the best shape if you ask me. Hi, I'm Chef Julian Bond. Come with me while I show you a few shopping hacks to save some money. I need to make meatballs. And the most common way of making meatballs is taking some ground pork and doing all the hard work. What I tend to do, grab a pre-made sausage. It's already full of spices and herbs and ready to go. And look at this, like magic, they turn into beautiful meatballs. Feta to me is one of those cheeses that I love because it's low in fat and high in nutrients. One of the other reasons I like feta, it comes in its own brine, which is a form of preservation. I'm going to teach you how to make the best meatballs on the planet. And we're going to serve them with a sauce with pasta. We have our sauté pan. Into our sauté pan, feta cheese. Tomatoes. I'm going to cook them from these ones that I had with the vine. The vine doesn't really have any flavor, but it has a lot of aromas that's going to pass into that sauce. And when I bring this pan out of the oven, I'm actually going to remove the vine off and let that tomato mush together. And I'm going to throw in a little of these cherry tomatoes because why not? 2 cloves of garlic to bring it all together, olive oil. And this is going to go in the oven just like this for 30 minutes. Next, we're going to cook those meatballs. So once you've got them golden brown, I'm going to put them in the oven with the sauce that's cooking in the oven, and they're both going to finish together at the same time. Our meatballs are out of the oven. Our tomatoes. Now you need to make sure you remove the vine. The feta and the tomatoes become one. Pasta. Still hot, freshly drained. Toss it in. And there's that little elbow to catch all that feta. Oh, so good. You're gonna toss it. You fold it in together. To finish it though, our basil. And then I'm going to toss that together. And just a little basil to finish.
It's no secret, social connection does wonders for our health and longevity. There are so many things that we can do to stay connected, but we don't all need to be athletes. It could be as simple as going for a coffee with a friend or volunteering for a cause that you care about. And that's the show. Remember, as our CARPe chairman Moses Neimer always says, the best way to keep going is to keep going. So carpe diem and seize your day.